5 in our championship here today. Not a great qualifying, 17th place, our worst qualifying of the season. We're going to see if we can get a good result out of it, but really struggling to keep my car on the bottom, a little tight. But right now we're working our way in 7th place with, I think, 8 laps in the first stage, since there's only 26 laps in this race. Battling with Ricky Stenhouse is at number 52, Procore Gatorade. Ford is down the bottom, and I'm trying to keep it down anywhere where I see Kyle Busch. Since we're tied in the points right now, I am just trying to get by him. As Tyler Reddick gets right underneath my rear quarter panel there. We're trying to hold it steady as we come across for lap 2 of 26 here. When I arc it in real deep and really hold it on the bottom, my problem all night is I was not able to hold it to the bottom. I kept floating up to the middle. But we've already made our way from 17th to 13th with a little help from Ryan Newman. As you can see, he gives me a little push. It's kind of what you need. This is an all draft track. As with good online competition, this setup will hit 38 threes. In this race with the AI, I only hit a 38.4, but I'm not getting them good at the draft. As we're coming down to about 4 to go in stage 1, and every point is going to matter because Kyle Busch, he has really been on a roll. He's been on a tear. 5 races in, he has 2 wins. I have 2 wins. It's a really tight points battle. As you can see, I've made my way all the way back up to 10th after starting 17th. And really bad qualifying, just kind of really trying to get a draft off Denny, but he's trying to stay up high. I'm trying to really hold that low line. As you can see, I got a little bit loose for that 3 times wear, and I'm pushing up to the wall. So this setup, you could probably make it a little tighter that I'm going to give you guys at the end of the race. I loosened it up a little looser, I'm sorry. I tightened it up because it was on 3 times wear, and I made it for a league race, not an esports race. But anyways, we're back here in lap 4. It's me coming to lap 5 with 2 to go in stage 1. As we're back up, we're up to 9th place. We've gained 9 positions since the start, which is not easy to do with these AI as hard as they are. But as you can see, the AI really runs on multiple lines on this track. Some are high, some are low. Right now, I do not have my draft effect all the way up. Something I might change here, because I'm thinking I'm going to get this big, huge draft off of Truex, but I found out wrong. But we are putting a little gap on Ryan Newman back there in 8th. But we're just not able to stay behind the 19 as he's really riding that high side. So I decided to drop in behind him with 2 to go in the stage, figuring stay as close as I can to Kyle Busch at this point. I think it's going to be a long season between me and him. So far, he has been stellar, one of the hardest guys out there to beat. And Eric Jones has impressed me as he's been in the top 5 every race. Right now, I'm trying to clear the 19 so I can get up there behind the 20, but that's his teammate, so he is not allowing it. I'm trying to dive it in low with 1 to go to the end of the stage, and Eric Jones, I have to hit the brake really, really hard to not spin him out, as their let-off point's a little different than mine. But I'm able to get behind Martin Truex now and catch a little draft, but they still run that high side, and my car does not feel good up there. So I'm going to make it 3 wide here and just hold the bottom. I believe we're coming to the end of the stage, or to the white flag, the lap right here. So I'm just trying to get every position I can. I beat out Eric Jones by a nose and end up getting 7th place in stage 1. So there were 7 laps in stage 1. We started 18th, so we made up 11 positions. Right now, we're starting stage 2. I ended up not pitting because the AI did not pit. I stayed out on 80% tires like they did. See how it shakes out here in stage 2. This setup that I'm going to give you guys at the end of the race, there's a lot of things you could do with the tires to make them last longer, to make them faster in the short run. Myself, these are my league race setups, and I'm trying to give you all a tenth or two slower. than some of your esports setups. But in the long run, that's why I'm showing you guys these 30, 40 lap races. They really hang in there. Because right now, we're 6th place underneath Joey Logano, and we've made it ahead of Kyle Busch. And he's our main competition right now, as we're tied in points, but he's beaten me with more stage points. And Kurt has been really tough. Like, his brother Kurt knows that I'm battling Kyle for 1st place, so he's running me really hard. As we try to stay right here behind Suarez, as he's had a good car up here in the top 2 all day, but I have to pinch the brakes so I don't get into him, and it makes me shift high. I go up high to the wall as my car's still a little too tight. 3 times wear, it is rough on the tires, so you got to really tighten it up for the end of the stage. As you can see, Brad Keselowski's up there next to the wall, so I'm trying to stay low and get a big draft off of Daniel Suarez right now, with Kurt Busch pushing me as we're coming to lap 11 of 28, lap 12 of 28, I mean, with about 4 to go to the end of stage 2. And as y'all can see, Auto Club is so bumpy. If we can go inside the end car here, I'll let you guys see exactly what I mean down the straightaway. I mean, you are really rocking and rolling with here. And stay right up there, give them a push even. But you can see them bumps, this thing is bottoming out. That's why I do not run all the way to 4.0 on my ride height here, because it likes to bottom out as we're 3 wide. I'm trying to hold it there in the middle with 3 to go in the stage. Brad Keselowski really got it sticking to the bottom at the moment. Just flies right past us there. Really, really good move. And Kurt, I make a little contact, couldn't slow up enough, but I did check up on the brakes so I would keep from spinning them. Kind of lost a little bit of momentum, but that's fine. I'm not trying to make any enemies. We're coming to 3 to go in the stage. And as you can see, I just overdrive the corner, which allows, look at that run, Kevin Harvick and Daniel Suarez get on the bottom. I'm trying to side draft off of him, get a little too close into him, more than I'd like. That's not the type of driver I am. I try to be as clean as I can, but right now every point matters, and I almost take him out. Let's see. He ends up spinning out, and that's going to be the end of stage 2 as I brought out the caution and wrecked Brad. One of my favorite drivers, just because he used to be Dale Earnhardt Jr. driver. I know he switched to Ford and everything, but not my favorite driver, but one of my top 10 drivers. So definitely not trying to wreck him on purpose. But we did get a 3rd place finish there in stage 3. We will take, or stage 2. We will take that, and we're going to be coming to 8 to go in the very last stage, starting 3rd. The guys all took 4 tires, so I take 4 tires with them. So we're going to see if we can do anything. As you can see, I had made contact with Brad earlier, so I didn't want to go in the corner behind him and accidentally bump him again, but I'm having to let off the throttle a lot to not float up into him. As you can see on our onboard, here we go across them bumps. Like I said, I'll explain that to y'all later when I give y'all the setups, how important your shock settings and your spring settings are here. If not, you're just going to be bottoming out and losing a lot of speed. As I almost clipped Brad Keselowski there going into 3. Opens up for the 4, the 41. They all dive on me because I let off a little bit. I do not want to wreck them. We got Chase Elliott, Logano up there as we are coming to 9 to go to the end of the race. Still hanging on to 3rd. Just can't hold the bottom, just a little too tight. The adjustment I made did not work in the pits. And we do not want to be loose in the long run, but in the short, I just wasn't able to hold the bottom all night, which is not a good thing at Auto Club. You want to paint that white line. As you can see, I'm holding it on the entry, but I'm floating up in the center, and that's not good. I almost actually got into the 4 as the 2 gives me a push from behind. And we're fixing to take the lead for the first time in a race today. First time I've led since Atlanta. Really tough to lead laps with these guys, with the AI set up as hard as they are. So right now I'm excited, thinking, you know, I might walk away with another win here and get a little bit of a points lead over Kyle Busch. As you can see, I try to get down to this bottom, and my car won't stick. As you can see, look how fast Brad is down there as he gets underneath me and catches a nice side draft. And that's the difference in this race as I come back to second, is I could not keep my car on the bottom with 8 to go when we cross the line. So now my plan is just to get the best draft I can off the 2, which I almost have to get in the brake really hard, and I still spin him, take him out. The caution's going to come out for that. Thank goodness for Brad, because that is the second time that I've done that to him today. In the middle of the corner, they just really check up compared to the way I like to run. But we're going to be starting in first position with 4 to go, no 5 to go. When we come to the line, hopefully Brad is still back there, because I feel bad about hitting him. It's not the driver I am, but here we go. 4 to go to the end of the race. We're trying to win here and get a little bit of points lead over Kyle Busch and try to dive it into turn 1. And I loosened up a little more, thinking maybe I could hold that bottom line, but as y'all can see, just not happening, man. A really fast car on the short run, but just not able to hold the bottom like we like. And if you can't hold the bottom at these tracks, I mean, they're just going to eat you up. As you can see, the 4 is just, I almost cut him off and hurt myself there. Hoping, he says, I'm going to go on the high side now as we come to 4 to go to the end of the race, going lap 24, 28. I'm leading right now, thinking, you know, really good car, but Kevin Harvick just kind of used me up there, and I didn't want to bump back, so I just let him have the position. These guys' tires must be a little better than mine. It keeps happening at the end of every race. These guys are just, you see how loose I am up into the wall. It's loose in and tight off, one of the worst things that you could have in racing. I'm making my way back in 5th now, so I'm just going to have to sit behind Daniel Suarez for these last 3 laps, just to hope we get a good finish over Kyle Busch, because he is going to really dominate in this championship. Want to stay as close as we can. I kind of overrun the corner there, thinking I can get up to Kevin Harvick and catch his draft, but that is not the case. We are still stuck in 5th. Trying everything we can do to just make up a few spots. We finished 4th the last 3 races. Tired of finishing 4th, but as long as we finish ahead of Kyle Busch at this point, I don't care. As now we're back up into 4th place. I still got a car beside me with 2 to go. I want to get up there and get behind Kevin Harvick and catch that draft, but the 41's there. Because I finally let off enough to actually hold the bottom. You just gotta kind of let off at just the right time. Got the car working for me, but it's a little too late now. As you can see, Brad has got a really strong car out front. Even though I did hit him, thank goodness the caution come out. As we're going to be coming to 2 to go when we cross the line, battling with Kevin Harvick for 4th place, trying to get up there and draft off of Kyle Busch in the 1 or Kurt Busch in the 1, but I got Kevin right beside me, so I just got to hold it down there in the bottom. I hit the apron, slide up, which is actually going to help me because Kevin Harvick actually gives me a big push right here, coming down the back straightaway. So 3rd is looking kind of good, but here he comes down on the bottom. I try to hold him off, but I get tight again, which is going to open the door for Daniel Suarez. I got to get back down there and hold him off as we come to the white flag lap. Just trying to draft off a Harvick here for the last lap. If I have to take 3 4th place finishes in a row, that's what I'll do. But he actually drives it in way deeper, and I'm kind of taking it easy because I done hit Brad Keselowski twice in the corner. Did not want to do the same thing to Kevin Harvick. As you can see, here we come to the last corner of the race, and I decided let's dive it in there 3 wide. Our only chance, and we're holding it, not drifting up into him. Really clean racing here. Let's go with an overhead shot to see how close it's going to be for 3rd place at the line. We barely nipped him out. Or actually, the 4 nipped me out for 3rd place. So let's get to that setup for you guys. 29.3 I ran online with it. With the AI, I could only hit a 29 or a 38.4. Sorry about that, guys. But this is the point so far after 5 races, as Brad Keselowski just walked his way into the playoffs and made his way up to 2nd in points. So now I'm leading Brad by 1 point. We both have 7 playoff points. Kyle Busch is sitting there in 3rd, but he has 2 wins as well. And also, let's check on Matty Dew, who's won a race. So he's in the playoffs, back there in 18th in the points still. Let's go get you guys this set up and wrap tonight's broadcast up. As you can see, Brad Keselowski with the fastest lap of a 39.0. I could have swore I was running 38s, but maybe it was actually 39.4s I was running, because that's a really, really fast lap, 39 flat actually. So yes, this is a 39.3 setup, not 38.3. I'm going to have to change the label on that. Brad led the most laps of 19. He's been really dominant. Alex Bowman started 7th or 39th and made his way all the way to 7th. As you can see, the opposite for Darrell Wallace. Bubba started 13th all the way back to 32. All right, let's finish the event and let's go to Auto Club and get this set up. As I will show y'all, it is a 105 speed rating setup that I'm giving you, and it's more for a league race. It's not your esports setup, but you can make it an esports setup. And this is really cool. Race 6 I'll be doing in the morning because I already have a Martinsville setup that is really good. It's actually a 2-gear setup, but I'm going to have to wait till tomorrow to drop that. We're 13% complete on our full season in 1st place, but let's go here and get you guys this setup for Auto Club. Monster Energy. Let's use Slade's. Slade, really good from the esports, really good friend. Got drafted number 1 overall on the PS4 side, so I use this car a lot because he's a really good kid. Proud of him. He had a really, really good car. As you see, the Atlanta setup I gave you guys 105 speed rating. Auto Club I'm fixing to give you guys a 105 speed rating, even though I'm 0 for 6. Ran 6 times here and goose eggs on the win. I really thought this was going to be the day when I led them, 5-6 laps there in stage 2. I felt like we had a really good car, but just could not keep it on the bottom. That is one thing, you guys, at these kind of tracks like this, I see it a lot, like at Auto Club, Michigan, Chicagoland, Kansas, just people overdriving the corner, where if you just back your corner up a little bit, you can hold that bottom line and get off the corner. You go in the corner slower, but you get off the corner so much faster. And let's get to this setup here. I'm going to show you guys, just so y'all know, I'm not using any other setups. This is that's a setup, as y'all can see. Let's take y'all to my actual race setup. Alright, like I said, the shock settings, it's a bumpy track. So on shock settings, from what I've understood here, on bumpy tracks you want to run a higher shock setting. It gives your car more room to bottom out. You don't want to run 3, 4, 4, 4, really low. You want to raise them up a little bit. I even think 4, 5, 6, 5 might be a little too high. I'm going to play with it a little. I read 4424. I use his setup guide to learn how to build these setups. Some of these setups I've actually, got from him, changed up a few things, and they work really well. Another thing you can change here is the front weight in the wedge. That's where my car, I think, struggled all day with that front weight. I should have brought it down, and brought the wedge up a little bit and loosened it up that way, or through the tire pressure. But we still got a third place finish. Not bad, not terrible. We're first in points. The front ride heights here at 4.125 and 4.25, that is so your car is not bottoming out when y'all are hitting those bumps I was showing y'all. And you want these springs to be really solid. The left spring could probably even go up in this setup. Tire settings, I always use stock just so I can make adjustments in the pits if I need to tighten it up. I like to do it right here in the tire settings instead of having to do it with the wedge. Cambers, this is a league, you know, more of a league setup. Not bad on tire wear. I like the front sway bar at 1.500 myself. I notice in a lot of red setups he likes the 1.435. It's all preferable. And here's another thing that I show you guys. If you guys are ever getting loose off, right here, your right track bar controls that. If you're loose off, go down on your right track bar. I think that was one of the reasons why I was so tight off, is because I went down a little too much. I think I should have kept it up at 1250, but brake bias 70, reel tape 40. You can even go up a little bit on your reel tape. And the gears here, your wheel lock, that's all depending on if you're on a wheel. I'm on a wheel, or if you're on a controller. Some people like to run lower locks on controller. These gears, in qualifying, I raced fourth gear up to a 1.00, and that's the reason why I struggled so bad in qualifying all the way back in 17th. But yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in. And like I said, I already got a really good Martinsville setup. It's kind of going to hurt me, you know, my feelings a little bit, because I worked so hard on it to give it out to everybody. But that's what this is all about. Make everybody faster. You know, that's my whole point of doing this, and you guys get to see me race the setup, so you know what you're gonna get. But thanks, man, for tuning in to Dirty South Racing. This is MP Roofer on PSN, and we will have more race number 6 at Martinsville probably around noon tomorrow. So if you're needing a good Martinsville, tune in, share this, like it. The more subs I get, I'm going to start giving away PSN cards, you know, for like the 100 subscriber and things like that. So it's going to be exciting, man. This full season, I'm going to try to do a race a day. Going to be a real exciting season. Looking forward to it. And you guys have a great evening. And wait, let me make sure I saved my setup here. Yes, I did. All right, guys. You guys have a great evening, and from Dirty South Racing and MP Roofer, thanks for tuning in.